Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game schedule for Sunday, April 13th, 2025. Now if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my daily rundown best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab of pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alright, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday, Major League Baseball. First up, the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Jose Barrios and Cade Povich are your starters. Barrios struggled mightily in the opening day start against the O's, where he gave up 6 runs and 3 home runs. But since that start, he's been a lot better. The Blue Jays won his last 2 games. That was against the Nationals and the Red Sox. He went 12 2/3 combined of just 3-run ball, no home runs, 10 strikeouts to go with it. And I think that he's going to be a lot better in this game, the second time around against Baltimore. And, Cade Povich, he gave up 12 base hits in that last game against the Royals. He didn't give up a home run, didn't have a walk given up, but when you give up that many base runners and you're facing a Blue Jays team, it's been solid against lefties to start the year. I know Povich has a lot of potential, but, an 8-16 ground ball to fly ball ratio in that last game against KC, so it's not like they were all infield singles on the ground. 12 hits, some line drives, some sharp contact. I think he could be in trouble in this game. So I'm going to go with the Blue Jays in this one on the money line. Next up, the New York Yankees hosting the San Francisco Giants. Logan Webb and Carlos Rodon are your starters. Rodon pitched really well in his opening day outing against the Brewers, but since then he has struggled, missing inside and outside the zone. He's given up at least 1 home run in each of his first 3 starts. He's given up 7 walks in his last 2 games, which was 12 innings combined. His strikeout numbers have been there. He's going to be a good strikeout pitcher, but I do worry about the sharp contact and the control issues. Facing a Giants team, it's been solid offensively to start the season. Pitcher in Logan Webb, it's been a Cy Young caliber starter in the National League the last few years. He's in great form. He struggled a bit in the first game of the season. Since then, he's gone 14 innings of 1-run ball with 16 strikeouts. He's been a lot better at home than he's been on the road in his career. But even that game on the road against Houston, 7 innings, 1 run, 6 Ks, no walks. He does a great job of keeping the ball on the ground. Now, I don't think it's going to be a perfect outing. This is a tough place to pitch for a ground ball pitcher. I think, we could see a guy like Aaron Judge go yard in this game, but I still think Webb's going to be good enough, quality start, for his bats to back him up, and I think the Giants win this game in the end. So give me San Francisco on the money line in this one. Next up, the Atlanta Braves and the Tampa Bay Rays. We got Chris Sale and Shane Baz on the mound. I mentioned my concerns with Shane Baz in spring training. I didn't love that his strikeout numbers were a little bit inconsistent. But so far in the regular season, 16 Ks in 13 innings. His last game against the Angels wasn't his best, but it also wasn't his worst. He gave up 4 walks, he gave up the home run, but limited the damage overall, just 2 runs across 7 innings. He gave his team a chance to win. They just weren't able to back him up, in the run support, for the most part of that game. But now you're facing Chris Sale, who was, the reigning Cy Young winner, but has struggled so far to start the year. His last couple of games, he's really been off, and he's not pitching deep into ball games. You look at his first 3 starts of the season, all less than 6 innings of work. He went 5, 5, and 4 2/3. His strikeout numbers are there, but he's given up a lot of base runners, not getting out of as many jams as he was last year. I think we'll see him improve as the season goes along, but right now, in the current form, at this kind of price, I got to go with the Rays in this one. I think, Sale, if he's not able to go deep into the ball game, while I like this Braves bullpen overall, I don't really necessarily love their middle inning options, and I think that their bullpen's been a little bit stretched so far to start the season. So I'm going to go with the Rays in this one on the money line at Steinbrenner Field. Next up, we have the Kansas City Royals taking on the Cleveland Guardians. We got Cole Ragans and Ben Lively on the mound. This is actually a rematch between these two on opening day. It was supposed to be Bybee and Ragans, but Bybee was a last-minute scratch. I think it was food poisoning. Ben Lively was thrown in there in the last minute, and for somebody thrown in there on opening day, he actually pitched pretty well, and it was good enough for the Guardians to win in extra innings. The problem for me is I still consider this a pretty lopsided pitching matchup in favor of KC, and I think Ragans has been a lot better since that opening day start where he struggled against Cleveland. Now, Cleveland has done a lot. He's done a lot better against lefties to start this season than they've been the last 5 years or so. This is not a team that's hit left-handed pitching very well. You rely on a guy like Steven Kwan at the top of your lineup, a lefty, but he's been better against southpaws himself. So, the matchup is actually not miserable for Cleveland against Cole Ragans, but I do think the Royals will get to Ben Lively. That's the big thing for me. While I don't expect Ragans to be perfect, he is in great form, and I think he'll be good enough. And I think the Royals do the rest of the talking with their bats, because Ben Lively, for me, is a big-time regression concern. He's given up a lot of sharp contact. You look at that last game against the White Sox, it looked like an amazing start on paper. 5 innings, a shutout ball, but he had 3 walks. His control was way off in that game. He was behind in the count very often. The White Sox are just not the type of team to make him pay. I do think the Royals will be able to make him pay, though. Get on the board early and coast to a victory. So while Cleveland certainly has the bullpen advantage, and if this is a close game late, you can give them the advantage late. But I think KC scores enough early on to win this game in the end. So give me the Royals in the first 5 in the full game. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Carmen Mlodzinski and Hunter Greene are your starters. There's no doubting that Hunter Greene is the much better starting pitching option in this game. He's been one of the best starters in the National League, so far this season. He's got 20 2/3 of just 3-run ball with 23 strikeouts, only the 3 walks and just 1 home run given up. Yet the Reds are still 1-2 losing record in Hunter Greene starts this year, and they're priced as a steep favorite in this game. That's the problem for me. I think the value lies with the Pirates in this one because this is not a Reds offense that we can trust consistently. And even if Greene can go 6-7 sharp innings, I think Mlodzinski and the Pirates bullpen will do a good enough job to keep this game competitive, keep it close, have a chance to win it outright in the end. I think the value lies with the Pirates. I'm going to take them plus the 1.5 runs on the money line in this one. Next are the Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins. Mackenzie Gore and Cal Quantrill are your starters. Now, Cal Quantrill was a lot better in his second start of the season against the Braves with his 5 innings of shutout ball, but I still think this is a pretty lopsided matchup in favor of the Nationals. And, while the Nationals bullpen has struggled this season, in the first game of this series, it was the Marlins bullpen that blew the 4-0 lead, and the Nationals were able to take advantage and win that game 7-4. I think Mackenzie Gore is going to pitch well, and I think the Nationals will be able to score early and late, back them up, and win this game in the end. So this is a pretty steep price to lay on the road, but I think it's worth it with the Nationals. I'm going to take them and lay the 1.5 runs as the road favorite. Next up, the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Houston Astros. We got Kyle Hendricks and Hayden Wesneski on the mound. Wesneski's actually pitched pretty well to start the season in his first 12 innings as an Astro, 11 strikeouts, 5 runs for a sub-4 ERA. The Astros, though, have not backed him up, and they've lost both of those games 3-1 and 4-3 in low-scoring contests. I think this one will be a little bit low-scoring as well, but this time around, I think the Astros can back them up, score enough to win this game. Kyle Hendricks has been pretty solid so far in his first few games as an Angel, and they've won both of his starts, but I do think there are some regression concerns. Kyle Hendricks in the last few years has not been the sharpest starting pitching option at the major league level. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this sub-2 ERA for long. The expected numbers are a little bit steep, and I think the Astros, with how well they've done offensively in this series, can put up some runs. So I think this is going to be a game that's kind of close to the total. I wouldn't want to take the under because I just don't think there's enough wiggle room there, but I think the Astros are the play. I'm going to take them on the money line and lean a little bit to the run line as well. Next up, the Boston Red Sox taking on the Chicago White Sox. Garrett Crochet faces his former team. Shane Smith on the other side for Chicago. Now, Shane Smith has been pitching really well so far, but the White Sox are still 0-2 in those first 2 games and 1-1 in the run line. And for me, when you look at Shane Smith, he faced the Twins and the Guardians, 2 of the weaker lineups in the American League right now against right-handed pitching. It's a much tougher matchup facing the Red Sox and facing Garrett Crochet, who's locked in so far this season. He's been pitching really well with his new team. I just don't think Chicago backs up Shane Smith enough. Now, this is a situation where the price is just not great. The Red Sox are a giant favorite. I would lean towards Boston laying the run line. Maybe you take the under because of Shane Smith's success on the mound. I mean, he did not give up a single hit until the 6th inning of that last game against the Guardians. So I'd lean towards the under, but I do think the Red Sox end up winning this game, winning it by enough to cover the run line as well. Next up, the Detroit Tigers taking on the Minnesota Twins. We got Casey Mize and Simeon Woods Richardson on the mound. I'm going to take the Tigers in the first 5 innings. I think that's where they have their advantage in this game. I could certainly see the Twins finding a way to win it in the end, in the full game. But Casey Mize is pitching well so far. Woods Richardson, I do think, is the weakest link in this Twins rotation. And, the Tigers have hit righties very well this season. I do expect regression going forward. Their BABIP is through the roof. It's just unsustainable. But so far, so good. I think they find a few off of Woods Richardson to take the lead through the first 5 innings. But like I said, I do think the bullpen advantage goes to Minnesota. So just give me Detroit in the first 5. Next up, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Zach Wheeler and Matthew Liberatore are your starters. Another situation where we see a very steep price for the favorite because of the pitching matchup, which looks lopsided on paper. Zach Wheeler and Liberatore Wheeler did struggle, though, in his last game against Atlanta. That was 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. I think he bounces back, though, and I think he's going to get the run support to win this game and cover the run line. The Phillies over the years have done a good job against left-handed pitching offensively. So far this season, they're top 10 in team OPS. Isolated power numbers are decent. Strikeout rate is a little bit steep, but we saw Liberatore struggle in that last game against Pittsburgh, and that's the Pirates. They have really struggled against lefties, so not a great sign there. That was 5 runs, 8 base hits, a home run to go with it, and an 8-4 loss. I got to go with the Phillies in this one, lay the 1.5 runs on the road. Next up, the New York Mets taking on the Athletics. We got Kodai Senga and Luis Severino on the mound. Now, Severino, of course, facing his former team, and I do think this is a tough matchup for him. I worry this is going to be a bad outing because we've seen him pitch in the first game of the season at Seattle, pitch very, very well in his season debut, but then his first 2 home games in Sacramento, where we find him here, he really struggled. He gave up 4 home runs combined, 10 earned runs combined in the 13 innings against the Padres and Cubs. So he was pitching deep into ball games, but, I mean, giving up 14 base hits, 11 total runs, 10 of them were earned. Now you're facing a Mets team that not only is hitting the ball well against right-handed pitching, especially the top half of the lineup, but has also got great career numbers against Luis Severino in about 50 plate appearances, a very low strikeout rate, a high walk rate, a very high expected batting average at 353, expected slugging at 554. I think that Severino's in trouble. I think Senga's going to be good enough. I think the Mets win this game. I would take the Mets team total over and the Mets on the run line on the road. In our next game, we have the Padres and the Rockies. Kyle Freeland and Michael King are your starters. I like the under in this game. In a pitcher-friendly ballpark, 2 starters that are in good form. I don't love this Rockies bullpen. I think it'll be good enough, though, because Kyle Freeland's been pitching deep into ball games. He's been earning more missed bats, striking out more batters this season than before. And, overall, his expected numbers are actually pretty sharp. They're less than his current ERA at 3.79, which is already pretty decent for a Rockies pitcher. And, Michael King struggled in that season debut. He's been very, very good ever since. I think the Rockies struggle to get to him. Give me the under in Rockies Padres. Next up, the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Freddie Peralta and Zach Gallen are your starters. With all the injuries for the Brewers in the rotation and the bullpen, it's been nice to see Freddie Peralta be that consistent option at the top of that rotation. He's gone 18 innings in his first 3 games, 2.0 ERA, great strikeout numbers. His control's been better than what we're used to seeing, and he has been, the saving grace for this Brewers rotation. You face a Diamondbacks team, it's a tough lineup, and Zach Gallen's an ace-level starter when he's on, but so far Chase Field, he hasn't been on. He struggled in those first 2 games against the Cubs and the Orioles. 8 2/3 innings, 11 base hits, 9 runs combined, 2 home runs to go with it, and 8 walks. So the control's been way off, missing inside and, of course, outside the zone. I think the Brewers can get to him for a few runs early. I think Peralta right now, in his current form, is the better option. I'm going to go with the Brewers in this one on the money line. Next up, the Seattle Mariners taking on the Texas Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi and Logan Gilbert are your starters. 2 good starting pitching options in this one. Both are in good form. Gilbert so far, this is actually going to be his 4th home start of the season. All of his games have been home this year. It's a pitcher-friendly ballpark. I bet he likes that. 2.55 ERA, the second best whip in baseball. Great strikeout numbers. On the other side, we know Nathan Eovaldi had a complete game shutout. His last game wasn't his best, 4 2/3, 3 runs, but overall this season he's pitching well. He's got good numbers on the road. He's got good numbers against the current Mariners hitters. Both of these lineups, we talk about the Mariners' struggles offensively, but look at the Rangers against right-handed pitching start this season near the bottom of the league in team OPS right now, ranked 27th. It's a low BABIP to go with it. I do think the Rangers get better as the season goes along, but not an easy matchup here. Give me the under in Rangers-Mariners. Next up, we have the Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers. No official starter for Chicago, but Tyler Glasnow should be going for LA. Not my favorite game on the board, especially with the lack of information from Chicago, but I do think that the Dodgers win this game and cover the run line. I'm going to guess this is not going to be a very good price for LA as the big favorite at home. I think Glasnow bounces back, though. He struggled against Philadelphia. He was a lot better in his first start against the Braves. He's got good strikeout stuff. The control's been an issue at times in his career, but while it was in that last game against the Phillies, I do think he bounces back. He was really sharp in spring. He was great in that first game, and we'll have to see who Chicago goes with. Could be a bullpen game. I think the Dodgers will be able to back him up. I'll be staying away from this one because I just don't think there's going to be any value, but I'll lean towards the Dodgers lay the 1.5 runs to end the night. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, Ron Romanelli. Good luck.